sweet friend. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Volta Voloshin Smith, and I'm the artist behind Color Snack. In today's video, I wanted to share with you the benefits of using watercolors. So I have here an example palette. This is one of the cheapest ones you'll find at Michael's, Amazon, basically any of your craft stores will have it. And another example is this is one of my more professional paints palette. These are probably Daniel Smith, Core, and Holbein, amongst a few. I just like to use different brands for my professional palette. But I wanted to dive into the idea of what are some of the benefits of using watercolors versus another medium. And if you are just brand new to a creative journey, I welcome you with open arms and I'm so excited for you. You might be wondering, like, what art supplies should I get into? Should I do acrylics? Should I do oils? The answer to that honestly would be to experiment with all of them if you can. But if you are short on time and if messiness is a factor, I definitely recommend watercolors. So for one thing, I also have another sample palette here. I have lots of palettes. For one thing, it's very easy to just open, close your palette, drop it in your purse or backpack and go. So watercolors are very portable in that way, and also you don't have to spend any time thinking, oh, I need to prep my area or I need to unscrew the tubes. Obviously, you know, when you fill up a brand new palette like this one, for example, you do have to unscrew the tubes and squeeze on the paint. But after it's dry, it's all right here. You just open and start painting. And I think that is so beautiful, especially in our modern day world where we have so many obligations. You know, we have a life, we have family, people that we need to take care of, our jobs and all that. And sometimes you just have maybe 10 to 15 minutes to be creative, and watercolors are great for that. So another important element of why watercolors is its versatility in terms of you can play with different styles. You can sketch it in a very loose way, so add a lot of water and you have a wash and then the colors are intermingling. And then you can also, you know, try it out and have more, you know, just paint it on dry paper where you have more control. So there's a lot of elements in that way. And of course, I did mention in another video, but paper is going to be very important here. So making sure that you have the right paper will enhance the experience. Another benefit to watercolors is the quick drying time. So I don't know about you, but I'm impatient and I've tried oils. They're fun, they're juicy, they look delicious. Like I want to eat the oils. I know you shouldn't, but they look tasty, and it oils take forever to dry, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, maybe not months, I'm being dramatic, but it does take a long time to dry. But watercolors are super fast, just a couple of minutes and then you're done. And then you can paint on top, you can do another layer, so there's a lot of like fun elements there. Another benefit to watercolors is the easy cleanup. Again, so you don't have to wear an apron, whereas, you know, if you're doing acrylics or oils, it might get on your clothes and then that's hard to wash out. So you definitely have to prep the area, put a whatever carpet covered uppy thingy. But with watercolors, you can paint anywhere. You can paint on location. You can have a little watercolor set, which I have here. Let me show you another watercolor palette. It's so cute. It's so small and very much portable. So actually all of these sets are portable, but this one definitely is like pocket size. So basically just wanted to share that it's so easy to just start painting. You don't have to worry about cleaning up afterwards. You just like wipe out, if you have any splashes, just use one of those wipey things and it'll get rid of it. Whereas other types of paints are could be a little bit harder, a little bit messier. Another benefit to watercolors is the spontaneity. So whenever you add a ton of water, you can get these accidental bleeds, and it's just like that's part of the fun sometimes, just playing with colors, dropping in different colors and seeing how the water is blending them together, and you can tilt the paper, and there's just so many different fun ways that how you can experiment without it kind of getting out of control. Let's see, another benefit to watercolors, I will say they're pretty accessible. In terms of, I mentioned this palette before. This is like $6 at Michael's or something. You can also find it in other places, but you don't need the most expensive of paints to get started. And you have a vast array of colors already here, whereas, if you buy other art supplies, usually, tubes, you have to, you might not get as big of a variety of colors, and then you have to worry about mixing them, and then that sometimes takes the fun out of it, because when I'm in the mood to create, I want my paints, I want all my colors to be readily available, so I don't have to waste precious time to try to figure out, is this the right mix, or am I, just don't want to waste time in that way. So highly recommend watercolors for that reason. And lastly, I would say is the therapeutic benefit of just being able to observe how the colors intermingle with each other. So it's a really great way to practice letting go of perfectionism, because you're able to really just focus on what's in front of you and engage in the experiences. Just come with it with an open mind and see what happens when you mix this color or the other. So it's a very much a nice way to get into that mindful meditative state without necessarily trying to just close your eyes and pretend that you can focus on your breathing, because let's be honest, meditating is a great habit, but it's very hard to build. It requires a lot of intentionality and effort, and whenever you have something that's a visual element in front of you, so like watercolor paints or watercolor paper, that becomes a lot easier to engage and drop into that meditative state. And it can be as easy as just adding a few little like stamping marks with your brush to create a fun pattern and just get lost in the creative aspect of it. So there you have it. These are the benefits. I forgot how many I listed, but there's a couple of numbers in there. If you have any other questions about watercolors and there's any way that I can help you on your journey, leave a comment, let me know, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, sweet friend.